What is up, everybody? I'm No Lux Given here with your afternoon snap, and today we are continuing to take a look at my tournament from over the weekend. Part 1 and a breakdown of the deck are in yesterday's video. Here's part 2. Alrighty, on to round 4 here now, and again we are up against a Silver Surfer list. I'll read it off here. Nova, Zabu, Invisible Woman, Brood, Silver Surfer, Killmonger, Dakin, Polaris, Spider-Man, Maximus, Shang-Chi, Absorbing Man. So it does have Dakin, Killmonger, Nova package. It does also have Zabu, which I think potentially bodes even a little bit better for me, because I can Rogue and Super Scroll to take that Zabu for myself. No Magic Storm package, just a lot of power with Maximus. Fisk Tower going to be quite annoying. Yeah, that's an annoying location for me because they have Polaris and Spider-Man. Oscorp Tower now. So this plays around Polaris. This plays around... doesn't really even play around Spider-Man. But I think let's at least shut off Polaris here. Ooh, and we shut off Brood. I think that's going to be a snap to the blind shut off of Brood there. Could play Zabu this turn. Be surprised if they accept this snap. Yeah, that seems like a retreat to me. I am surprised they even played Brood there, to be totally honest, because that eliminates the ability to like Polaris and Spider-Man into that location. Dream Dimension shuts off Sarah, which is definitely unfortunate. Spider-Ham into Shuri's Lab allows me to battle with priority. They're not super likely to play Brood into Shuri's Lab, but we could see an Invisible Woman there from them. Yeah, makes sense. Alright, we shut off Polaris, and an interesting thing too is now that no longer gets buffed up by Silver Surfer. It does feel like this would be the location to throw down your Brood, though I'm not super convinced that they even have that yet. Can also use Cosmo to shut down anything coming out of Invisible Woman. That's also kind of hype. Maybe this is just debilitating, and I should do that. What do they got? They got Dakin in negative zone. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And now Shuri's Lab is probably mine. They're going to snap here, so they like their curve. I do still get to play Zabu, which allows me to play like Shang-Chi or something on the final turn of the game. 6 goes up to 9. I think I'm gonna battle for 2 cubes. I don't love my hand nor my setup, but I'm gonna battle here. Korg, hit my opponent with a rock. Nova, and then a mystery card. So it seems like Maximus maybe then into Shuri's Lab. That would be a little bit awkward. That's going to give them 20 total power there. I don't love how this is going. Also because I'm looking to have priority right now. Going into the final turn as well. Yeah, so now I can't even interact with Shang-Chi against Dakin. So there's really not too much I'm even doing right now. I basically paid a cube to have a little bit more time to think. Escaped. And then realized wasn't there for me. That's why my opponent's list is scary. They also put out a lot of power. They're not just like storming. My deck is, of course, also... Okay, well, they have Shang-Chi as well. My deck is, like, very reliant on finding other Zabu players, and we have not been able to do that yet. Triskelion, kind of crazy. Alright, well, I could get at least one Hulk out of this, but that's actually all I'm going to get. Triskelion does deny a draw, so that's kind of interesting. And third location is Eternity Range. So I do get to give my opponent a rock. I do get a Hulk, and then I get to Shang-Chi their Hulk. So some of this stuff seems pretty good. I will want to find Serra or Zabu before I snap. Do like giving my opponent a rock here, though. Oh, wow. Okay, well, that doesn't actually matter too much. We simply Shang-Chi my opponent. I think I like Zabu here a decent amount. If we play Zabu here and then play something else here, we continue to keep my opponent having priority. That seems pretty good. They don't have any way to stop my Shang-Chi. Yeah, I think we snap here.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
Okay. My opponent keeps priority as they throw down a Human Torch. And now we definitely just play Serra, right? And then I get to play 3 cards on the final turn. And battle. Silk means that I now win in the Gamma Lab with just Shang-Chi. That's a guaranteed win. They only have 1 card here, and it's flipping last. I do feel like this is pretty tough to beat. This could be anything from Triskelion. They've already showed me 2 of their Triskelion cards, though, so it's unlikely they have too much more. I think this is probably a retreat. I'm just trying to think if there's anything wacky that could potentially happen here. I can't come up with it, so. Killmonger. That means Silk could land here for 6. I guess that is something a little bit wacky. And then Silver Surfer, which doesn't pump up anything relevant. Shang-Chi takes out the Hulk. If this lands into Triskelion, we've definitely won. But I think we might win here regardless. I guess Shang-Chi could be a little bit wonky, but it's Maximus. Whew, okay. I was sweating that one for a little bit. Probably didn't need to. But now the dream is alive. I was kind of seeing it float away here against these Silver Surfer lists. Don't want to get cocky. Again, hubris has been my death. Shang-Chi has been my death. That would have been a bold Shang-Chi by my opponent, though. We've got Zabu. I really don't want Shang-Chi to land in Sakaar, though. Shang-Chi isn't the best card against them. And they have Zabu, too. We have never seen them play Zabu yet. I think they're just avoiding playing Zabu because I've got Rogue and Super Scroll. That's funny. All right. We'll end the turn. Not going to snap. It's Maximus versus Super Scroll. I like a turn 1 Maximus and a turn 2 Zabu. I think we're snapping. Let's see. Shuri's Lab. That's good for Jeff. Reasonable for Shang-Chi. They lost their max already. Let's snap. Have to decide where I'm actually playing Zabu this turn. I like cards that double and are still out of Shang-Chi range for Shuri's Lab. Ooh. Okay, well now I've got an Invisible Woman as well, so that's going to make some things interesting because I can toss priority back, and then Wakanda is another location. I think I want to give them rocks ASAP, and I have to decide now if I want the double value out of Rock Slide, one of the few ways I am actually able to make use of Shuri's Lab, or if I don't want to mess with that. And then there's also Shang-Chi against Maximus after Silver Surfer takes place. A lot of interesting things to think about, but I think I'm going to go Rock Slide this turn. Next turn, maybe Spider-Ham plus Jeff into Shuri's Lab. Let's give him some rocks here, though. Dakin could not be Shang-Chi'd. Rock Slide can be. This is looking like a pretty good curve across the board here, too. Let's Spider-Ham and then Jeff. Next turn, I get to drop a Sarah into Shuri's Lab, which is just a lot of power. We could see Shang-Chi into Shuri's Lab here from my opponent. That wouldn't be the craziest thing. Muru Masa Shard, they have to play into Sakaar. But it's not the Shard I have to stop, it's the Killmonger and the Silver Surfer. I think I might want to battle for priority here too, though. Seems a little bit tough. I can move Jeff into Wakanda to potentially get priority and surprise my opponent with Cosmo. Though, actually, it's irrelevant because I can't put Cosmo into Sakaar because I've got Invisible Woman there. So they can always just activate things in Sakaar easily. They are going to fill up in Wakanda, and we're going to get rid of their Absorbing Man. So my opponent's definitely going to keep priority here. I might be playing Cosmo into Shuri's Lab, Shang-Chi into Sakaar to kill Maximus. And Darkhawk also into Sakaar. Korg decision to come later, but I can drop my entire hand next turn. Iron Lad is a 6 power card, though I'm not sure if it's that powerful. Let's play it like this for now. Keep my opponent with priority. So that could be a number of things. That could have been Silver Surfer plus Zabu. This seems good because it does flip at the end of the game if they have the Silver Surfer. This is for 10. I think Darkhawk never wins it, though. I've almost put too much into the Shuri's Lab. Because I kind of want to do this without Maximus. What do they really have? We just flip over Cosmo here first. I think this is right. I don't think this is too greedy. And I think this is strong. Let's see. They play a Zabu, that's not much, and then I play Cosmo. Will Cosmo stop Shang-Chi and have me be the victor? Rock. Rock was their other play, and then Shang-Chi, which we stop with the Cosmo. Shang-Chi is then going to win us Sakaar alongside the Darkhawk. That's mostly what's doing the work there, and now we are up 8-1. Whew, okay. We stopped the Shang-Chi. My Shang-Chis are irrelevant. That's kind of the awkward part here, but we were able to get it done there. Invisible Woman is a pretty clean location to Cosmo. We've got Monster Island plus Cosmo. That could be an interesting curve there in some capacity. Gonna need to see a Zabu. My opponent definitely hanging on to Zabu until the very end game of these ones. Well, I've got turn 5 Sarah dump my hand. That could just be how we do it. We're sticking in this one for the whole game. Interesting. So the only ways that we interact with Death's Domain are Jeff and Iron Lad, which I knew when building this deck, that locked down locations would be a little bit of an issue. Do I want to Cosmo, considering I won't have anything to do with it if I leave it for the final turn of the game? Yeah, we're just going to Cosmo here. We have the Shang-Chi, so I think I keep Monster Island Cosmo free. And then I'm protecting my own Darkhawk with this Cosmo. Unfortunately, we did not have priority, so my opponent does get a Marumasa Shard. But then I could legitimately see something silly like playing Shang-Chi this turn. I don't think that's super useful, though. So I think what we actually want to do here is just drop Rock Slide or Iron Lad this turn. Iron Lad, try to hit Jeff. And we can still find Jeff on the final turn of the game. Yeah, because this would be the only time we'd get to move Jeff. Actually, Jeff on final turn does nothing into Death's Domain. So let's go Iron Lad here. We're going to forgo rocking my opponent. Oh, yeah, they just get a free location for the Marumasa Shard. That's pretty good. Well, we're still going to kick their arse in Onslaught Citadel, I think. Because Darkhawk is just going to be insane value. Spider-Man could allow my opponent to win in Death's Domain. So can Brood. Okay, just a rock. Wow, we only gave them one rock and they drew it. Shang-Chi on our monster, well, then we are definitely going to have them have priority, rather. So this is huge. And that hopefully wins. Definitely not guaranteed. They can't play Spider-Man here, because then they lose in Death's Domain. I think this is probably just Brood, Silver Surfer. Brood into Death's Domain, Silver Surfer here. They have 7, 9, 12 power. We beat 12 power. So I think we win. Not Brood Silver Surfer, Maximus Silver Surfer. We beat Spider-Man. Oh, it moved over my Rock Slide. Oh, that actually stinks, but do we win? Oh, we actually just straight up win. Okay, I was going to say, do we win this game on differential? Because the Darkhawk and Onslaught Citadel is still going to be a lot. Turns out the answer is yes. GG, Cable Pool. Well played. Finally, we play up against a Zabu player, and we are able to get it done there. And now we are 3-1. As we move on to the next round, let me see if we can show off Lily for a second. There she is. And that's it. Back for round 5. And we're up against an interesting list here, a Galactus list. I will read it off here in just a second. Let me wish good luck to my opponent as well. hit him up with a U2. And their list is Daredevil, Electro, Magic, Shang-Chi, Sandman, Arrow, Dr. Octopus, Arnim Zola, Null, Leader, Galactus, Death. And they are calling it Greedy Ramp. Well, Central Park turn 1 is going to stop a lot of what they're trying to do. So I'm going to snap off the rip, see if I can get a free cube here against my opponent. I think that that's pretty good. Now, the awkward thing about this matchup is Sandman against Sarah and Zabu. So I might not want to be just running out Sarah. Big House is a horrible location for my opponent. All right, things are continuing rather to stack up in my favor. Turn 2, they're going to drop the Daredevil. Looks like we might still have priority. And we do. Now, they still have access to Shang-Chi. I don't want to lose Cosmo. You know what? Yeah, let's lose Cosmo. It stops my opponent from throwing an Electro into Gamma Lab. If they have Magic into Gamma Lab, that's totally whatever. And it allows me to hang on to Rogue for Null, potentially. So let's try this. Did we catch an Electro or did we catch a Magic? We caught an Electro. Okay, so my opponent does not get the ramp. They do get the Hulk, though. Interesting. All right, well, Spider-Ham does seem like it could be a cute thing here as well. Somewhat interested in rock sliding against my opponent. Next turn, I don't know, probably just going to play Sarah on turn 5 and hope that they don't have the Sandman. So I think for now I'm just going to Iron Lad into Central Park. But if I roll Shang-Chi, do I want to just play this Iron Lad here in case Shang-Chi shows up? Sure, let's do it. All right, they are going to Magic into the Big House. That means that they've got access to Big House as well. And Iron Lad gives me Darkhawk. So now we're really, really set up to get Shang-Chi'd over here. I'm just going to play Sarah. If they have the Sandman, they have the Sandman. Shang-Chi could allow them to win on differential. They just play like Sandman into Null into Shang-Chi. That could be pretty big for them. I really want to draw Jeff, but I'd be interested in Shang-Chi here too. What's awkward is I have priority, but they're not playing Doctor Doom. Darkhawk is also only for 6 power, so I might just Rock Slide, even though it probably takes me off of this Iron Lad. Yeah, all 3 of my draws are pretty reasonable next turn. Jeff allows me to do something. Do I want priority? Probably. Probably not. I think they're going to play Null in the center. So let's just play this here. Hope we draw Jeff. Oh, they Shang-Chi this turn, and they're hoping to draw Null. Okay. So then I just play this here. It steals the power from Null. It's a lot of power in this location, but there's not much I can do about that. And then Jeff, what do I have to play around? So I'm currently playing around Shang-Chi. Arnim Zola doesn't seem to do anything. Leader will just give them a Jeff. I feel like this is covered from all directions. What am I possibly missing here? Maybe they slow retreated already? Okay, that's what I'm missing. I was like, yeah, clearly they don't have any great plays here. Like, they're Sandman themselves. I was pretty sure that was just a win right off the bat from the Squirrels, which stopped my opponent from using Arnim Zola as well. Leader is interesting if they have priority going into the final turns, but they didn't. So there wasn't much that they could have done. Don't think we're going to drop Korg into Cloning Vats because we have Zabu Rock Slide. Sandman definitely still gets me because I don't have Enchantress. I only have Super Scroll and Rogue, so no great answers to Enchantress. Let's just Korg him for now and see where it goes. Cosmo on the Electro was clutch, an important reason to have early priority. But I think we're going to get a little bit of value here regardless. Okay, they're just retreating. I maybe should have gone for the turn 1 snap, but we're up 3 cubes. I'll take it. We don't have to do anything greedy. We're just gonna eke, as I love to say. We're just gonna eke out a few cubes over time. This looks like not a great hand. I'll Korg into 3. Rogue's still a great option for that final turn null to really turn a location in our favor. Dream Dimension, not particularly great for either of us here. Do we still have priority? We do. No, they steal priority. Ah, that is killer. That is killer because it means now I can't Cosmo Electro. So all I can really do here is drop Jeff into the Crimson Cosmos. And yeah, I had a feeling they might try to dodge. I was going to think about playing Cosmo into Atlantis there, just because they would want to play around Cosmo. We have super priority here. So we could see a big play here that involves like Dr. Octopus. So maybe let's just play this, because I think they would Dr. Octopus into the Dream Dimension, and then we would drop all 4 of these things. Could be Sandman here too, but I still like this play against Sandman. Rock Slide. Taste some more rocks here, please. Magic. Okay, well that's going to allow me to drop Sarah. So I suppose I'm all right with this one as well. Trying to think of what they're actually doing with Daredevil in their deck. I mean, I guess they're just potentially setting up for Galactus plays, right? Like if I were to somehow move Jeff, then they could play Galactus here, but I'm not doing that, so they can't. So now their play is to like null Arnim Zola, but that doesn't seem like it's super great here either. This seems like the ideal setup for their deck though, so I'm hesitant to snap, but I'm honestly missing it. Leader would be a pretty great play from them here. No, it wouldn't be because Electro limits them to 1 play per turn regardless. So, what are we doing? Okay, we're retreating again. Yeah, I don't see it. Haven't seen what my opponent is trying to do. I mean, I get it's a Galactus deck with Null, Leader, Death, Shang-Chi. It seems like we line up pretty well against them. Zabu, do we snap already? I'm just hesitant to snap against a Galactus list. Spider Ham's pretty big, though. I just don't know now if I want to go to Raft or Muir Island. I feel like with Jeff, maybe I do just play to Raft. Though, they'll magic the Raft if it looks like I'm battling for it. So let's just go for Muir Island here, then. Yeah, they're not a deck that battles for Raft, so that is a clear magic location. I don't hate Iron Lad. Try to flip Serra. That could actually allow me to take over the Raft next turn, which would be snap-worthy. I could play Skrull, Ham, and Jeff into the Raft if we hit Serra here. That's pretty crazy. Alright, let's go for it. Hellfire Club is where they are setting up. We get Darkhawk. And they have got Electro. They might be able to battle in Muir Island eventually. Though not in a way that I'm particularly concerned about. I think let's ham them and drop Jeff. I think that's going to work out pretty well for me. Again, I'm just not exactly seeing it. If they have the Dr. Octopus, where does that go this turn? Probably into Hellfire Club, and then I rogue their Electro, but that's fine. We're dropping multiple cards from my hand this turn. We take out their Death as well. Yeah, it's basically exactly how I predicted it, but we're still pretty big in Hellfire Club. And we potentially have access to Kang here, and they can't Galactus me, and they also can't activate Death. So I still feel okay. Oh, we do get the extra energy. That's funny. Not going to make too big of a use of that. I'm just going to play Korg this turn. Never wound up making use of the Raft. And magic is done. So. Playing this. Are they using... Oh, okay. I thought this might have been an Arnim Zola play. It's just leader for nothing. Leader for nothing. Something for free. This wins Hellfire Club. This still contributes power to Muir Island. I mean, how many... Oh, they can play multiple cards this turn. But what can they really do? I mean, it sucks that I'm not playing anything. But I kind of just have to imagine this is a slow retreat. Let's think about it. Let's think about it here for a second. I don't see what their deck even has. So it's just Shang-Chi into the Raft. I'm imagining it's a slow retreat. It's not. It's not a slow retreat, or it's a super slow retreat. It's like Arnim Zola into Hellfire Club, potentially. No, it's a slow retreat. It's the slowest slow retreat ever. I think... I don't know. I'm struggling here because I'm struggling to figure out what exactly my opponent's deck is trying to do, while also not underestimating them fully. And it only takes one huge game for them to get back a bunch of cubes. Turn 2 Jeff. This is a slow one. Okay, Gamma Lab plus... Oh no, Spider Ham. Cool. Okay, we get to disrupt them while adding power to Gamma Lab. That's pretty good. What do we disrupt? Their Death. Makes sense. I feel like these plays make it really tough for my opponent pretty consistently. I'm going to play Rogue. They might play Electro here. They might be afraid to do it after we got them with this in the first game. But I'll take 2 Hulks. They are afraid to do it. They're afraid to drop Electro into Gamma Lab. Now, I don't have access to Rogue anymore. But Starlight Citadel will hopefully... Oh, we just have my opponent locked out of playing Galactus here. I'm considering just playing Rock Slide into Starlight Citadel. But I think I'd like to potentially surprise my opponent with Cosmo into Starlight Citadel or into Location 1 next turn. If they have Dr. Octopus, that's pretty good against me. So maybe I should play this here, because if they Doctor, then I can move Jeff into Starlight Citadel to keep Galactus at bay. Hope that Iron Lad reveals before Cosmo. I'm gonna snap here, and we're gonna do some battling, because we have an answer to Dr. Octopus Galactus, which seems like it could be a common line. Oh no, this is just magic. Okay, but now they cannot Galactus anywhere. Galactus is donezo. They could play Leader this turn. I'm not that afraid of Leader. I'm a little bit annoyed by Dr. Octopus because then I Super Scroll their Electro, but then they dump my hand out. Okay. Looks like it could be Dr. Octopus or just a preemptive Shang-Chi. Okay, it's just the preemptive Shang-Chi. That's totally fine. I was going to protect my guys from Shang-Chi eventually. But it's fine that we're not able to. So this is probably Shang-Chi, and I don't know if we want to give that away. So I might save Iron Lad, Super Scroll. No, I think I'm going to run some stuff out here. Well, I don't have enough energy to play everything. Super Scroll can surprise the Super Null. So I'm going to want to play Super Scroll next turn. My opponent has priority here. So I could see them just playing Leader. I don't know if that takes my Darkhawk or my one of these two cards. Yeah. All right. Oh, it takes both of them. It takes both of them. That's right. Oh, that was a mistake then. I should have diversified my card powers here. So it seems like this is a null for me. That's really good. And then maybe I just play Iron Lad, which is probably just a Korg. We dodge Shang-Chi in this location. Maybe we play it here, because they're very likely to null here. Oh yeah, and they can move over their Jeff as well. All right. Just a null. Okay, fair enough. We had the scroll, they had the null. That's enough. Yeah, Super Scroll very, very good against all of the null decks right now, so that is enough to grab the win against Joxy. Unfortunately, did not really see what your deck was doing to that much of an extent. I do think Sandman is pretty good right now. Did not consider Sandman at all when I built this deck because nobody's playing Sandman. So kind of went all in on the Serra and Zabu of it all. But hey, sometimes you go all in and you win 10-0. So seems pretty good. That's going to make me 4-1 after 5 real rounds of this event. 2 more to go. If I can win both of them, then we're on to the top 8. Round 6 is about to start, and my opponent is on a high Evo kind of lockout style-ish list, though not exactly. I'll read off the list here. Sunspot, Nebula, Misty Knight, which are typical things that you think of, and they do also have Professor X, but the rest of the deck is filled out with Spider-Ham, Armor, Magic, Cosmo, High Evolutionary, Iron Man, Hulk, and also She-Hulk. So trying to do a little bit more with the magic rather than necessarily lockdown lanes, though magic is still synergistic with the lane lockdown. Interestingly, no Cyclops, no Storm, and obviously Spider-Man was nerfed, but they are playing both Armor and Cosmo as kind of hate pieces. In addition to Professor X is an interesting lockout thing, so all of those plus Iron Man will make my Super Scroll pretty interesting, but this is definitely not a matchup that I was super looking forward to playing, with the fact that I cut Killmonger from the list for Cosmo. So if I had Killmonger, maybe that would make things a little bit better, though my opponent would still have access to Cosmo and Armor and Professor X to stop Killmonger. So maybe it's fine that I actually have a card with a little bit more versatility in the form of Cosmo. Though the only thing Cosmo stops in this matchup is magic and Spider-Ham. So Cosmo's not doing too much for me, and I will probably look to not play it so that way I can I'm free to Shang-Chi my opponent's various Hulk effects. Being able to steal Iron Man is good. Spider-Ham will always hit Sarah if they play it and I have it. So I'd like to kind of avoid that, but let's see what we can do here. Round 6, if I can win this one and the next one, I'm into top 8. If I lose one of those rounds, then things start to look a little bit dicier for me. But it is still possible. All right, Orcus Forge, I do have the Zabu. I'm hesitant to snap on just Zabu Iron Lad, but Jeff, also my opponent is not playing Jeff. The fact that I am in Druid, you know what? We're gonna snap. We're gonna bring the pressure here early on in the game. My opponent is going to have a 1-drop play, so it potentially behooves me to not snap turn 1. But there we go. We got a free cube. Orcus Forge, not something that I care about, but if my opponent had a weak hand and I had a good one, then it's just a free cube to snap there. So apply some pressure and get it done. Monster Metropolis could allow me to potentially grab priority. Let's see what happens here. I'll play Korg. They're somewhat incentivized to leave Monster Metropolis alone, so that way they can drop a Hulk in that location. Danger Room's a good location for my opponent. No 1-drop is actually kind of just crazy. Am I looking at the right deck? Let me just make sure I'm playing against the right opponent. Ishan Jane is their name. Yeah, there's not... That's who they are. They just have a different in-game name. Lake Hellas, obviously pretty good for my opponent. I don't have the Darkhawk. What I do have is Cosmo. I don't want to just give up this location as well, but it seems terrible for me. Let's retreat. They have Lake Hellas. They didn't play any 1-cost cards, but maybe they just prefer soaking up power into Hulk on that first turn of the game. They might know their deck better than I. Okay, now Jeff is a card that makes me a little bit more interested in sticking in it. Hellfire Club is potentially an easy location to win as well, so that's kind of fun. Huh. Yeah, they're going to have that turn 1 Nebula. We're going to drop cards into this third location. Wakanda It's going to be good for them, bad for me, because I can't Shang-Chi, though I don't have the Chi just yet. I think I will stick in it here for Jeff specifically. Spider-Ham, we turn She-Hulk into a 6/9, which basically renders it useless. Now, what's awkward here is we don't have a play this turn, so really my best play is to just play Jeff into Nebula. I can still move Jeff around, though does hurt me a little bit. But yeah, we're going to go for it. Jeff into Crimson Cosmos. My opponent follows up with an armor, so Shang-Chi, it's done. I'm done. Rock Slide could go into the Cosmos. At some point, we do need to play a card in some of these other locations, so that way Professor doesn't just get a free tie. We can maybe force them to commit a little bit more. We can still move Jeff out, and then we still have Sarah. So I'm just going to play Rock Slide into the Cosmos for now. And hopefully that will just allow me to totally ignore the Cosmos. Okay. Magic's going to add some more time to this game as well. So this would be the turn where my opponent could play a free Professor into Wakanda to maybe get me a little bit. Trick is, once I play Sarah, then I will no longer be able to impact the Nebula lane. Professor Center is kind of a bummer. Professor in Limbo, I'm much more okay with. Then I just need to find Darkhawk, because I'm not going to be able to compete with Hulk into Wakanda. Do I play this? It's a little bit risk averse. But then I could just lose the Cosmos to Hulk. Just something I'm afraid of as well. Alright, let's play it like this. If it's Professor in Limbo, it's kind of a bummer. Yeah, because I think now I've already lost this game. And that's what I was thinking about, just playing the Sarah into Crimson Cosmos, but I don't think that that really gets me too much of anywhere either. Yeah, because now I can't add any more power into the Crimson Cosmos. My opponent could literally just pass and then play Hulk, and they beat me. And I can't super scroll into the Cosmos. So it's really unfortunate. That just gives it away that that's what they need to do. Maybe I should have scrolled into the Cosmos myself. I'll play this for now. If they played Hulk here, then I might actually have a shot. Huh. No, because what happens, so what are they planning on doing? Are they planning on playing Iron Man? Clearly they must see that I've lost the Crimson Cosmos, right? I'm just not willing to risk it. I think that it's just too likely that they see that they have a free win there. So let's just give them 2 cubes and move on to the next one. This is going to be a tough one. Maybe we do have to play risky, but it's not risky to play into like a guaranteed loss. I think it's just reckless. All right, super flow they like. I also somewhat enjoy the super flow. I'll Spider Ham them, and if we can get rid of their Hulk, we get rid of their Iron Man, but we totally get rid of their Iron Man. So that is kind of cool. Gamma Lab. It's awkward that I have to get rid of Cosmo, but my opponent with no Shang-Chi means that I do feel somewhat good about this. This will give me significant Hulk advantage here. Okay, they're going to tie it up. 2 Hulks a pop. Cosmo will not do anything for us here. Oh, it stops Spider-Ham. Cool. Cool. Oh, and there's one more turn, even. Okay, a squirrel to both locations. Well, then I'm definitely not playing another card into Gamma Lab other than Shang-Chi. So what I really want here is priority, and then to flip over Shang-Chi faster than my opponent next turn. So I could see doing Iron Lad, which is the most total power, because next turn they're going to have Armor, Cosmo, and Professor X that are all looking to get into the Gamma Lab. Let's play Iron Lad, see what happens. They play High Evo. Oh, that is going to give them priority, though. But it gives them priority, but now they have no way to protect in Central Park. What am I missing? I feel like that's a pretty bad play. I can win this location with Professor X. Oh, they can't play Professor X this turn. All right, well then let's continue to play around Nebula. Still looking for Zabu. But I'm going to snap here. I mean, we just have the free win in Gamma Lab. Okay, okay. Tied up 7-7. Sometimes in this matchup and in the last one, you just see me like shaking my head trying to figure out what my opponent is possibly trying to do. And the answer has just been nothing. Mojo World, and they snap off the rip. My hand is not good. We are in high stakes mode. I don't hate Rogue. It's hard to beat Professor X in Mojo World. That's a really annoying thing. I'm going to respect their turn 1 snap. It's a little bit bold of them to do it. And I like it. I think it's a great play by them. Because I'm just not confident enough with what we've currently seen. So my opponent gets 2 free cubes. Well played by them. Will they do it again? Will I do it again? I think this time I give the business back to them. Turn 1 snap off Zabu Iron Lad. We also have Jeff into Kyun Loon. So that is 5 free power there. Got the turn 1 Misty Knight. Turn 2, our location is Sewer System. Okay, we can also give them some rocks. That could be nice. For right now, we're just going to play Zabu. Yeah. All right, they have the Sunspot. They've got the Spider Ham, actually, for Rock Slide. So that hurts my pig a little bit. Okay, I think... Ooh, we drew Sarah. That's unfortunate, because I would have loved to hit Sarah here off of Iron Lad. Jeff now gets to add a bunch of power to Kyun Loon. So that's something I'm going to be looking to do as well. I don't think I play Jeff this turn. I think I probably still play it next turn. I'm hoping to draw Spider-Ham or Korg. Guess let's see what we get and just drop Iron Lad right here. This game's basically it. So This is a tight one here. Iron Lad finds me Spider Ham, which is great because it means now I'm going to draw Spider Ham and they get rid of their She-Hulk. Those are two fantastic things. And it's tied up here going into turn 4. I'm going to Spider Ham for more Muir value plus Jeff, which is going to give us a lot of power in Kuhn Loon. All right. I've got priority. We're going to Spider Ham them again. This could potentially hit the Hulk, though more often than not, it will just hit the Professor again. This is going to mean the Jeff in Muir Island means that I meant to say She-Hulk. But I was getting ahead of myself because Jeff into Muir Island means that now I beat Professor X. They cannot use Professor X to win a location. And now I actually want to toss priority to my opponent, so this is going fantastically. I'll be able to move Jeff out to get Shang-Chi in, or to get other things in. Though I might just be giving up on Muir Island, which is awkward. All right, this does not do anything. I was not really looking to retreat on this one. Professor X into Sewer System could be the play here for my opponent. Oh, it's magic onto Kuhn Loon. Okay, so we get another turn this game to battle. That could also be pretty good for me. It's going to potentially let me draw into Darkhawk. It's still going to make Jeff good, because now Jeff gets an additional turn before it has to move around. I think what we're looking to do here is play the pig in some capacity, and then I'm kind of maybe hoping to draw Super Scroll, not totally sure. It does look like I'm giving up on Muir Island, which is awkward for how much we've invested there, but my opponent has also invested a lot. So the important thing here is tossing priority and leaving myself the ability to Shang-Chi my opponent. Do I just play out the Rogue? Because I'm fine if they Iron Man on the final turn? I think so. This gives me enough energy to drop my whole hand next turn as well, which I think is important, and I can't do if I hang on to Rogue. So let's do it like this. They play out their pig, I play out mine. Rogue has no target, and my opponent has priority here. So Darkhawk is for 4. Yeah, I think we're just giving up in Muir Island. My opponent with 4 cards in hand. A lot of weird ways they can play this one. Because they can potentially use Cosmo to protect around Shang-Chi, though I don't think that's the play. Maybe it's just like this. Shang-Chi, because they're not going to drop a bunch of small cards into the sewer system, and then I do this. This loses to Iron Man into sewer system. Iron Man puts them at 14. I'd have to move Jeff there to beat that. Plus 5. This beats Iron Man. Wow. We did it. Whew. Beat the Iron Man. Because it was like a play that, wait a minute, what just happened? Oh no, the Misty Knight. The Misty Knight and the BM thumbs up to finish it off. Dang. Oh, the Misty Knight was was a 2 out of 6 chance. Well, I'm happy for my opponent. They've clearly never won a game before. But man, that stinks. We lost for a 1 out of 3. I feel like we played it pretty well, but unfortunately got a little bit unlucky there at the end. So I think that might be the end of the tournament for me. Now I am 4-2, though I might still play the last round for fun, and maybe there's still a way to get in on breakers. So we'll see what happens. Happy for my opponent that they have won their very first game of Marvel Snap. And we'll see if we can win the next one to potentially still make something out of this. Here we are for the final round of the tournament before the top 8, which I'm probably not going to make it into. My opponent this round is playing a traditional Thor Lockjaw list. No high evolutionary, but Wasp, Lockjaw, Thor, Spider-Man as a new addition, Jubilee, Iron Man, Jane Foster, Doctor Doom, Odin, America, and Magneto. So pretty like vanilla, not too much interaction, though Jubilee and potentially Jane can be used to shrink my Darkhawks. We'll see what actually winds up happening here. My opponent has not yet shown up to the room. So we'll see what happens if we are able to indeed get a game in. Awkwardly, haven't really played up against a Zabu list other than the one Zabu deck that, or the one Silver Surfer list that just happened to have Zabu in it. So a little bit of an awkward read here as far as the metagame is concerned, but if you take a look, maybe I can show this off here now. I probably will show this off in the intro video, but I will just bring this up on the screen here. Oops, didn't quite make it over. Where are we at? So this was the archetypes breakdown for the entire event, and as you can see, a lot of Darkhawk Goodstuff. It was the most played deck at about 22%, so 1 in 5 decks. You would expect that over the course of 7 rounds that you'd play 2 of them. In the course of 8 rounds, we played 0 of them. We did play 2 of the Surfer lists, and you know, while this a little bit more than 1 out of every 5 seems somewhat low, I think that that's also correcting in a way, because some of these other lists that aren't so great, you'd expect like Cerebro and Junk and Living Tribunal. You would think Ghost Rider Tempo. Typically, those decks are not going to perform as well, making it even more likely that you play against Darkhawk decks after that point. So that's kind of what I was expecting to happen, but instead, we just didn't see any Darkhawk at all. And we're going to continue to not see any Darkhawk for this final round of the event. I'm going to, I was streaming on, I heard like the audio skipping a few times. I was streaming on Discord. I'm going to stop doing that. I think my opponent is finally ready here. Yes. And let's see what they have in store for us. Again, their deck list is Wasp, Lockjaw, Thor, Spider-Man, Jubilee, Iron Man, Jane Foster, Doctor Doom, Odin, America, Magneto, and I did not say this previously, but the Infinite. You can go for the turn 1 Super Scroll or the turn 2 Super Scroll or turn 2 Zabu plus Jeff. That seems pretty good. Jeff being a way that we can play into the altar, but my opponent has a few ways to make it into the altar with Jubilee and with... I think I'm just going to save this Korg and leave myself with a little bit more decision making later on. All right, Onslaught and then also Super Scroll is pretty crazy. You know what? Spider Ham might be pretty powerful too. That could give me a lot of options. I think I'm going to snap. If we hit their Infinite, it's terrible. If we hit their Doctor Doom, it's fantastic. So let's roll the dice here and see what happens. Super Scroll in Citadel to take my opponent's Iron Man could also be an easy win and a nice way to surprise my opponent on the final turn. We take out their Magneto. Ooh, a random card. And it's another Korg. Okay, that's interesting. Here's what I'm thinking. Let's go Jeff. I don't know why I said Jeff. Let's go Zabu Jeff Korg. This will give me 6 energy to work with next turn. That's enough to play Iron Lad Korg plus something else. I really don't even need to play this Korg here yet. Like, I could just play double. I could save these Korgs for later on, though. Sooner I play them, the more likely it is my opponent to draw rocks. But I want my opponent to draw rocks on, like, turn 5. You know what? Yeah, we kind of have to run these out because my opponent also has access to Chavez. I kind of don't need the extra energy, but we'll see what we get here. And my opponent now has a Lockjaw. So Darkhawk is going to be a ton of power. Can't find Jeff off of Iron Lad. We can find Shang-Chi. Yeah, this is where I'm looking like I don't even know if I want to play Korg into Altar of Death. I might just want to have access to Korg. Let's do it like this then, actually. Just in case we hit Cosmo off of this. And we hit Sarah, so everything's going to be extremely cheap. Are they going to play a rock here? Jubilee. Okay, yeah, I was thinking Jubilee into Altar of Death would be something awkward. They have Infinite, so they've won in the altar. Yeah. I could move over Jeff and surprise them with a Shang-Chi. We're 1-4 to draw Shang-Chi. So that's still a possibility. Alright, we'll see if the hub rips them something insane. I do feel like I'm going to win an Onslaught Citadel. And I might need the Super Scroll to win in the hub. Plus maybe Shang-Chi could be cool. There's definitely some potential on this one still yet. What do they have for us here? Iron Man.
I am.
Okay. So now I kind of do need to draw Rogue or Shang-Chi to get something fancy. Instead I draw Cosmo. Oh, I already have Super Scroll. I already have the Super Scroll. So I admittedly do not love this. But really, we're just hoping that they roll something poor into the hub. Wait a minute. Yeah, they're just going to play their 12 power Magneto here, right? That's what they're going to do? Is that too obvious? That has to be what they go for. Yeah, okay. And then we're going to steal their power from them. That should be enough to take the win. Spider-Man's going to take something out of here and move it into the altar. They take my Darkhawk. Wait, this could still be a win. Thor. I have Super Scroll plus 5. They have Super Scroll or double Iron Man plus 4. Wow, that was a really, really, really close one. 4 power multiplied by 4, and I have... Oh, I had 7 power multiplied by 4. Okay. So it's a little bit less close. Still sweating it that they were able to snag the Darkhawk there. But we do walk away from that one up 4 cubes, and that's going to be good. That's going to be good because there are some things that could have gone wrong in that one. All right, Oscorp Tower, not great. Need to find Zabu. Spider Ham just in general feels like a little bit of a liability where I could just give my opponent a free 20 power creature. But luckily we were able to dodge that. All right, so looks like if my opponent has Lockjaw or Thor, that's going to go in this 3rd location. So hopefully that's not a crazy location. What do we have here as location number 3? Nova Roma. Okay, so Cosmo could really get my opponent here in allowing me to stop Thor because my opponent doesn't have another good option for Thor, and that's kind of what they have to play this turn if they want to play their best card. Excuse me. So I like this. Oh, they're just going to retreat to the snap. All right, 5-0. Or 5-10, however you want to look at it. It's an interesting retreat from them there. I wonder if they were retreating to Cosmo or they just were retreating blind. Now we get to pressure with a Zabu snap. However, my opponent's deck only has Jubilee. Rock Slide is a weird one if we give them that. Rogue. Huh. I'm tempted to stay in it here. It's awkward because we don't have anything to go along with the Zabu. But I think I'm still into this. At least for one more cube, I will stick it out here for a second. Odin. Okay. What's interesting about this interaction is, like, if I were to get their Lockjaw, it gets me cards from my deck, which isn't that great. Okay, and then we have a Tillon. So we're going to shuffle in all of these cards, and then we're going to shuffle this hand into our deck, and then we're going to get cards from their deck, which could now contain cards from my deck. Which is a little wacky. Okay. Looks like maybe a Thor here. No, it's a Spider-Man. Sure. Alright, we're tied up in a Tillon. And now we're going to get weird. We're going to get real weird here now. Alright, I grabbed the Infinite Doctor Doom, which I love to see. And my Shang-Chi. Huh. Not sure how much I can do with my Shang-Chi. But I'm not sure it's worth playing here either. Got a 5-card deck, which means that Darkhawk is only going to be for 6, unless, of course, they give me some rocks. I get to draw Chavez on the final turn. This really isn't a great hand for me. I think I might just want to, like, play to win in every location and then play Doctor Doom. It's pretty unexciting. Super Scroll. Yeah, I was a little bit afraid of that. Wait a minute. Oh my goodness. Now, I have Super Scroll. Okay, I was not expecting that. Could also skip, move everything center, play Infinite. I don't think I have any interest in that. I think I'm going to play... Super Scroll here, and then my plan is to move Cosmo into New York and then play Doctor Doom. Okay, we Super Scroll. And my Darkhawks are just bigger because I played more cards before Attilon came down. So that's all that's happening here. So now if we move this here, play this. This is 10. Doesn't seem great. Tough to know exactly what they're going to do. I think it's worth staying in it for sure, as Dr. Doom is a lot of power, though we're technically losing in Attilon, and we're asking them to move cards out. All right, I'm going to try it. I think they might move Iron Lad into New York, but I think this is one of my better gambits that I can play here. 10 power in Attilon. New York is always a crazy location. Always leads to some big mind games. And let's see who's got the bigger brain right here. I'm setting myself up for disappointment. Show me the brain. If we lose this, we will still be winning in the matchup, but just barely. Ooh, they played into Attilon, which is going to move my Cosmo back in, canceling my Dr. Doom. If I had played... What did I need to play there? I don't know, Infinite or something. We're still winning. We're up 1 cube, but we lost that one. I did think Magneto was going to be good in the matchup. And unfortunately, we gave my opponent back the Magneto there, which was one of the reasons I stayed in it to begin with it. Okay, Mindscape is also kind of a terrible location for this deck. I won't say also, but it is a terrible location for this deck because Sarah does not get to transfer the cards over, and you could wind up giving your opponent rocks, which they then give back to you. So we're not in a fantastic spot. You also like have to play Super Scroll, or else you're kind of giving them the answer to it. Okay, Limbo's interesting. I'm just now realizing Mindscape is also bad with Jane. We haven't seen Jane yet, but it is bad with Mindscape because you draw your 2 zeros and then you just pass them over. Nova Roma. It's going to find me Cosmo and Darkhawk. I'm currently more interested in playing the Super Scroll because Darkhawk is only going to be, we're going to draw on turn 4, 5, 6, and 7. Darkhawk's only going to be for 2 power. It's only going to be for, wait, 4 power is what I meant to say, right? Yeah, 4 power. If we give it to them, it's only 2 power. So I really don't have to worry about giving them Darkhawk either. I'm just going to give them a bunch of terrible cards. I do need to get rid of Rogue or play Cosmo, so that way they cannot take my Super Scroll. I do like Cosmo as well. One other thing to consider is skipping on turn 5, so that way turn 6 can play more of their cards. I don't think that's going to be a factor here just yet. Alright, I missed the Jubilee, tried to hit it with Cosmo. Mjolnir. Okay, that's not a lot of power into Limbo, but it is decent power into Mindscape. Looking for Shang-Chi this turn. Perfect. So we play Shang-Chi here, then we play Jeff. We leave them with a 2-power Darkhawk, a Rogue that can steal Zabu, and then a Sarah, which they will probably make use of. I think I'm willing to snap here. Let's see if that causes a retreat. Then in my deck, I've got Iron Lad for Spider Ham to knock out, like, Darkhawk. They're going to draw Chavez next turn. Actually, if they play Darkhawk, it's more power onto my Super Scroll. So that's pretty tough for them. Are they going to stay in it? They will. With Shang-Chi the Thor, and then they're playing Lockjaw plus Wasp? Spider-Man. Spider-Man plus Wasp. That doesn't seem that great. I'm winning all 3 locations currently. We're going to grab an Iron Man, an Odin, and a Rock Slide, but interestingly, no Doctor Doom. So they could have a Doctor Doom themselves. I can use Odin on Shang-Chi. That's kind of a nice surprise. But there's no way that that actually activates here. Can I just play Iron Man onto Super Scroll and then I get it? Oh, I might have cheaper cards next turn. Is that crazy to consider? If they play Sarah, I'll have 7 energy. I could play Infinite plus Rock Slide. Yeah, that's crazy. Next turn I'll probably draw Iron Lad anyways, which is still pretty good. No, you know what? I'm passing. They're going to play Sarah here. And then I get it. Oh, they just played America. Okay. So if they have Doctor Doom, did I just set myself up for disaster? I did. So let's lose this location. Yeah, I still have priority. Yeah, I think I got too silly with it. I mean, this kind of plays well into Doctor Doom as well. Sure. This beats Doctor Doom. Could they make some weird Magneto play? No, not really. Okay, I think we baited them with the Infinite here, right? If they have Magneto... Oh, they do just win with a Magneto play. Dang! Okay, I just thought myself into a corner here. My opponent had Magneto, not Doctor Doom. I mean, they just played what they had. If I had just played Infinite into Nova Roma, I won. And I was representing that so hard that I thought that they would retreat to it. But they stayed in it, and... Wow. Okay. Thought myself into a corner there. That's pretty awkward. To lose back-to-back games. But I think we can still do some nice stuff. I don't want to hit... Okay, Sarah plus Onslaught Citadel is great. Unfortunately, cannot snap. And I'm going to play out Zabu here too. Okay, these are good locations. These are solid locations right now. So now I could play Cosmo. Next turn I could play Spider-Ham plus Rock Slide or something. Sure. Opponent has not played anything yet. Looks like we're going to get 2 cubes here from like an insane high roll game. Wow. Yeah, this is a really powerful game for me. Let's just do this. Give my opponent some Rockies. Then I'll play Sarah and then probably finish off with Iron Lad, Darkhawk and stuff. I missed what Spider-Ham hit because honestly, I was looking at drama on the Discord. Totally missed it. I can go back in the VOD and look. That's awkward. Well, whatever. We're playing this game out regardless. It's 2 cubes. I'll drop Sarah here, and we shall see what happens. I don't get to see what I took at all, right? Yeah, I mean, I could check the VOD here because I'm recording, but yeah, sure, I'll do that. All right, so load this up here. Should be at the very end of this clip. Let's hope we don't miss anything else here, though. Okay, Jane draws Wasp. And let me go see what I pigged real quick. Oh, I did hit the Infinite. Okay, okay. Well, fair enough. I mean, they can play an Infinite to one location, but then they lose the other locations, right? So it's really not even that big of a deal. Yeah, I don't think it actually matters that I hit Infinite here. Don't think that they actually have a way to win. Because Darkhawk is just way too strong. It's 20 power into the Citadel, so 26 power. That will even beat Infinite. And then providing 8 more power into Murder World, so that beats Doctor Doom. And if they had like Doctor Doom plus Wasp or something. Looks like it's Wasp into Murder World and then Infinite into Citadel. And we'll have to win 2 more games, unfortunately. Oh, it's Odin Jubilee. Sure, that's cool. Still not going to be good enough. Victory. But the question is, am I going to be good enough to overcome those 2 big losses where I kind of put myself now in this awkward position? Titan is not good for me at all. I'm gonna share my screen in case they want to feature this on coverage. Spider Ham, might as well, huh? Okay, we hit the Doctor Doom this time. Finally hit the Doctor Doom. And they bring Jeff over into Necrotia. It's fine because I can still move Jeff into deep space here. I don't draw any of my cost reducers on this one, so that part's awkward. I think I go Iron Lad to try to hit one of the cost reducers, and if I miss, then I don't know if I was winning this one anyways, but Rock Slide could be good here as well. My opponent not really playing anything, and we hit the turn 4 Sarah. That's really cool. So now I follow that up with a turn 5 Sarah. And we'll see what we can do from there. Deep space, that's going to be a Thor. Oh, Infinite with Titan. Oh, okay, so they have one in deep space. Okay. So it looks like probably Magneto. Into Necrotia, and I can't beat that. If they don't have Magneto, then we can still maybe win, though. Trying to think. They'd never just play Iron Man here. So they'd probably just play Chavez, and this is the way that I get the most power into Necrotia for everything that I see here. It's not that glorious, but it's 5, 6 power. No, it's not even that. It's just straight up 5 power into Necrotia. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any other plays. There it is, Magneto into Necrotia. That'll beat me. I didn't draw the Shang-Chi. I could have held on to Iron Lad to try to find a Shang-Chi that way, but just didn't get there. Didn't draw super well in this final one to provide a lot of power, but that's a little bit of a risk of the deck. It doesn't have that much power available in it. It's really looking to play against Zabu decks. And unfortunately, Zabu was nowhere to be found today. So that's it. That is going to be the death of me there. And yeah, they did feature me briefly on the stream. But that's going to be it for me today. And thank you guys very much for watching. A little bit of different content here with the tournament VOD. It'll take me a little bit to put together, so hopefully it's still enjoyable, even though the games didn't go super well for me. I still do like this deck in theory. One thing that I'm super curious about, and I'll leave a link to it below. So obviously there was a lot of Zabu in this event, right? But there wasn't... I'm curious how well the Zabu decks did. If some Zabu players made top 8, then I will feel justified in having played this deck. If none of them did, then maybe this deck is just a little bit too specific in terms of what it is attempting to attack. Just so that way I don't look like a total fool for playing this deck, I wanted to just quickly look over the top 8 and show that 3 of the players that hit the top 8 were playing some variation of Zabu Goodstuff, though with their own twists on it. First, we've got this list from Harbor H with Black Bolt Stature at the top of the curve. A nice little way to still play around Shang-Chi in the mirror match, but add a bunch of power to the board. This could certainly be something that I check out in the future. I still need to grab Stature myself, but maybe we will look at this one. And then this list also somewhat suited for the mirror here. We've got Echo as really the only big mirror card, and then more traditional, we've got Legion and Doctor Doom, which are both really strong and powerful cards that can pull out in a lot of different interesting ways depending on which locations you find yourself with. And Captain Marvel also gives you some flexibility with that movement. So there's another Zabu list. We've got Thanos Control, they're calling it, with a decent little move package here. Polaris, Spider-Man, Stegron, and Magneto, as well as Vision, all to move cards around in addition to Thanos and Professor X, which I guess that plus Shang-Chi is making it a control list. We've got Thanos Lockjaw, which is a pretty straightforward Lockjaw list. It's not even, I guess it's a Thanos Lockjaw list, that's right. So not playing any of the Thors. And then we've got one more Zabu Goodstuff Darkhawk list, also with Sarah. So was definitely onto a little bit of something there. This list is a little bit more traditional with Captain Marvel still making it in and Enchantress. Maybe they could have just beat me straight up on power. And then this list also uses Invisible Woman as another way to throw priority. You can see just how important that is. We've got Owl God on move, which just looks to be, I don't know, just like adding a bunch of power on every turn, curving out, not worrying about Shang-Chi at all, though not really playing that many cards that get hit by Shang-Chi, and then playing both Spider-Man and Stature as cheap cards that you can throw down on the final turns of the game. Silk, it's a 2/5, it's really good. Polaris and Spider-Man, 3/5s. They're not that much further behind, and you can mess with your opponent in a lot of ways, plus find ways to cheat out Miles Morales. Thanos Control, this looks a little bit more typical when we see the Claw, though again, like no Spider-Man in this version of the deck makes it feel a little bit more awkward. This one has Iron Lad in addition to Professor X, and then Cosmo as well. And then last but not least, we've got a Sauron list. That is the final list in the top 8, but just brought those up to say that there were 3 Zabu decks that did make it into the top 8. So if we were able to play into those, then maybe we would have had a shot. Unfortunately, wasn't how the things fell into place there, but Zabu still very, very represented, and that definitely makes me think that my Zabu Great Stuff list definitely has a potential spot in the metagame going forward. That's going to be it for me today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm No Lux Given. Peace.